Okay, so let's start. So in task 1, what you need to do? 3 minutes, share your understanding about what it means by new normal education and how education technology can help in the new normal education. In the last few months, since we've started this lockdown, there's a lot of discussion online, social media, about how are we going to move forward with this new normal education. And then DepEd has already instructed or given us announcement that we need to use different learning delivery modes using the technology. So how do you think education technology can help us in this new normal education? So I want you to sit together in 3 minutes and then share your understanding of what is this new normal education all about and how do you think this education technology can support in the new normal education. All right, you must assign one person to be the timer so that you will keep up with the time. Time is really very important to us. So 3 minutes should be enough. After 3 minutes, we get back to the next slide. So once you're to the next activity. So after discussing about new normal education, education technology, when we say new normal education, we need some changes because face-to-face learning is not appropriate or effective at the moment because of the threat of the virus. So we need to go through virtual learning or online learning. But then the discussion is what kind of approach or learning modes that we are going to use to our students, considering the age, considering the limited connectivity of the students, considering a lot of factors that you may not be able to face when you are in a traditional learning setup. So for this next task, what I want you to do is to use the SWOT analysis template to outline your points about the strength, the weakness or weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threat of the new normal education and the use of education technology. So if you're going to transition from traditional face-to-face teaching methodology to the new normal education with the use of educational technology, what do you think? Internally, what are our strengths as teachers or learners? What are our weaknesses? Then what are our external opportunities? What are the threats that we are going or what that we foresee, which will gonna be our issue in the next few months? So for this task, I'm giving you about 15 to 20 minutes. All you need to do is to create a SWOT analysis template on a piece of paper or in your notebook. And what you need is to take a picture of your response or your completed SWOT chart and upload it in your flipgrid. Although this is a group work, you need to upload your response individually because you will be graded individually for this task. All right. Thank you so much. So once you are done uploading with your SWOT analysis, it would be good to also look at the responses of each other so that you could learn also. You can learn also from other people's point of view or insights. Now, to continue, I would like you to watch a video about 5 things to consider in a socially distant classroom, which is actually recorded or video recorded by Aga Adnochka. Aga is actually one of the PYP coordinators in Malaysia, who's also running an IB school. This video is attached in Flipgrid as well. Excuse me. So all you need to do is just to click the link. This is available in YouTube, and give yourself about 1 minute and 32 seconds to go through with the video and find out what are these 5 things that we need to consider when planning for socially distant classrooms. All right, moving forward. So, in a nutshell, just to sum up the video, the 5 things to consider when planning for socially distant classroom are transitioning the learners. When I say learners, we are talking about teachers and also students. How do we prepare the environment? And what kind of relationship that we need to improve or build with our students? What about our teaching and learning approaches? Is there a need for us to change the teaching and learning approach? How about collaboration and communication? How do we collaborate with our parents and stakeholders, and how do we communicate? Considering that we cannot invite them to school or have a face-to-face meeting with them. So what is the role of collaboration in a virtual classroom or an online learning activities, or in our case, conducting asynchronous learning? What will be their role in this transition period? All right. So don't be too excited. That is just a prior assessment of what we know or what we want to know. And now we're going to focus on designing learning experiences to support well-being. So, Aga Anojka in the video told us that one of the 5 things that we consider during the transitioning from new normal to virtual learning is the transition itself. But what do we mean by transition? When we transition learners, the teachers and then students, we are looking at preparing them physically, emotionally, socially, mentally, and spiritually. Or in short, we are looking at their well-being, because there's a lot of stressful scenario that's happening, circumstances because of this pandemic. Parents are so stressed up about the threat of the virus, about financial matters, and a lot more. So how are we going to support our learners? It is not only the parents' stress but also teachers' stress, because trust me, even if a lot of schools around the world are already advanced when it comes to technology, the problem in our education currently is that not all of our teachers are actually confident in using digital learning platforms and digital learning resources. So what we need to do now is to look at their well-being first, so that they'll be able to feel that they are supported in the aspects of well-being. So for this session, we have 3 targeted objectives. The first one is explore the building blocks of well-being for teachers and learners, and also engage in activities that support a mindset for well-being. We're also going to explore about the elements of social emotional learning and how this SEL can enhance learning, teaching, and our living. For this particular session, I am using the format of a golden circle of Simon Sinek. Simon Sinek is actually a leadership advocate, whereby he said that if you want to be successful in a business or in any work aspect, you need to always look at the whys first before you ask your what or how. So for this session, the flow of the presentation will start with the why. Why well-being? And how well-being can be incorporated or integrated into our learning experiences. And what do you think will be the outcome of integrating well-being activities into the learning experiences or into our lessons? To start with, why well-being? If you know Dr. Martin Seligman, he is an international psychologist. He's a famous international psychologist who's conducting a lot of research, studies, and experiments about positive psychology. So Dr. Martin Seligman is actually a professor in the University of Pennsylvania. So when they conducted this experiment on well-being in St. Peter's College in Adelaide, Australia, they actually found out that there's a significant correlation between integrating well-being activities into the lessons, and what are the outcomes of the integrating well-being activities into the lesson. These are the outcomes. They said that if you incorporated well-being activities in your lesson, the students will be able to increase their PERMA. Later on, I'll explain what PERMA is. The students will experience less depression, less anxiety, better conduct or behavior. They also will improve their grades or their academic achievements. They will experience more success in life, and they will also experience better physical health. So, what is PERMA all about? PERMA stands for positive emotions, E for engagement, R positive relationships, M meaning, and A accomplishment. These are the elements of well-being. So, this is actually a changing insight or understanding of well-being. It is not only about taking care of our physical, social, emotional, mental or spiritual well-being. But according to Dr. Martin, we are now moving forward into an era whereby the students don't need to actually meet only their necessity in order to satisfy their needs and to become happy. But rather, it is all about how our well-being will flourish our life. So how do we achieve that is by positive emotions. Positive emotions refer to our cheerfulness or happiness. Engagement. Engagement is very important into our, well-being actually improve our engagement. If we have positive relationships, how positive relationship can actually promote academic achievement. How can we be able to improve our well-being by understanding our meaning or purpose in life? And how do we also improve our well-being by understanding our accomplishment or achieving something? Okay. Positive emotions refer to cheerfulness, happiness of the learner. So it means that when a child is happy, when a child is really very cheerful joining your class, if his or her emotions are actually satisfied, the learning engagement actually increases. Engagement. How do we actually integrate engagement into our lesson? By using signature strength. According to studies, teacher has this signature engagement such as sense of humor and zest. By the way, when we say engagement, we are looking at values. Signature strengths are actually values that help you engage into something that will make you productive. So teachers naturally, according to research, are actually energetic or zestful and also hilarious or having sense of humor. Relationship. Building positive relationship. When we build positive relationship, it also improves the students' engagement inside the classroom or in our virtual learning. When we know how to connect with people, when we know how to deal with people, then it also increases our enthusiasm or energy. When we speak about positive relationship, we're talking about not only relationship with our teacher, but also relationship with our parents, with our fellow students. Meaning, if we know what's the meaning or purpose, greater purpose of ourselves, then we are able to satisfy our well-being and also improve our well-being. The students need to be taught explicitly on their purpose or meaning and meaning of life. Accomplishment. The value of self-discipline and grit as a measure of success. According to studies, students who have greater self-discipline actually are more successful. There's an equation or correlation between the success of the students and also self-discipline, whereby those students with higher self-discipline are actually the one who is more successful. So, how does this theory help me to design learning experiences for my virtual classes? Very easy and simple. In order to promote well-being, we need to allocate some time into our virtual learning, whether it's virtual, whether it's asynchronous or synchronous learning. We need to integrate an activity that promote the well-being of the student, such as promoting positive emotions, promoting engagement, promoting relationship, promoting meaning, and also promoting accomplishment of the students, meaning to say celebrating accomplishment. For example, this particular activity, what makes you happy, it is very important for the students also to talk about something that make them happy. Write down 5 things that make you happy. How do these things make you feel? Share your list with someone at your table. So this activity actually can be used from the early years up to grade 6. So all you need to do is just to allocate maybe 5 minutes to for your students to share what makes them happy for the day. It can be sharing with their parent. It can be sharing using a video recording. It can be sharing using an audio recorder. It can be sharing through writing their notes of the things that what makes them happy. These are just sample activities. They can also discuss how often they engage in happy activities, and then of course how can they engage in the activities more frequently, and then what are the things that they can commit to do more to make them okay. Additionally, there are some tools that you can use to help the students to exercise these positive emotions by looking at meaning of happiness, have how happiness looks like, how it sounds like, and how it feels like. So it's a kind of a reflective activity for them to realize that there are a lot of things in their lives that that can make them happy. Simple activity, it can be something at home, a toy, or the presence of an individual or the parents at home, or maybe playing online games or reading some inspirational books, or maybe watching their favorite movies, and so on and so forth. Different peoples do have different ways of making themselves happy, so you can talk about it. This is just a short activity that will take about 3 to 5 minutes of your lesson. So again, even if you're running a face-to-face lesson, a synchronous lesson or synchronous lesson or blended learning, it is very important to actually set some time to help them build their well-being by this. Okay, so engagement. How do we develop the engagement of the students? Things like, when we say engagement, we're talking about the signature strength, the use of your strength to engage to something. Dr. Martin actually shared a story about a person who's working as a bagger in a grocery. So she's not so happy about her activity or her role or her job. So sometimes we are in that position that we are not satisfied or happy with our position, but we have no choice but to do it because that's our life. That's how the way we are. So in order for us to be engaged into our activity, we need to tap our signature strength so that we'll be able to engage into our job productively. So what the bagger is doing is that she's using her signature strength in order to make her day engage, and she will become more productive. She doesn't like to be a beggar, but she's a person who is a very social person who would like to always talk to people so that they can connect. She can connect to people. So what she does is every time that she begs grocery items from a customer, she talks to the customer to make connection and then share what makes her life so happy or something randomly that she can see. And then even though people don't really matter or just ignoring her, for as long as she makes conversation, she is very happy about it. So that's one way of engaging yourself, tapping your strength and potential, no matter what people say. So it's all about, making yourself motivated or engaged so that you become more. Okay, so another way to actually improve the engagement of the students to increase their well-being is to do some mindfulness exercises in the classroom. According to the studies of this Harvard University, Transforming Education, they said that mindfulness intervention actually can improve student engagement. So there are a lot of experimentations and then studies that they've conducted, and then they see that mindfulness really works. What is this mindfulness? Mindfulness is just simply a form of brain hygiene. When you are too stressed up, you are overwhelmed with a lot of information, you are overwhelmed with a lot of instructions or tasks that you need to do. All we need to do is just to concentrate and focus what we need to have at the moment. Concentrate on some parts of your body so that you'll be able to maintain your focus to carry out your day presently. You don't need to be bothered about your past. You don't need to be bothered about your future, but rather to live and then go on, carry out your task of the day so that you'll be able to complete whatever task is allocated for today. So it's just like a form of breathing. Now, what's the benefits of mindfulness? Mindfulness can actually improve ability to notice and slow down or stop automatic reactions. When you are engaged in mindfulness activity, you tend to become calm and peaceful. You don't easily react. You think carefully and critically. It also increases capacity to respond to complex and difficult situations. It's like grace under pressure. You are able to resolve some complex issues because you have the focus and calmness in you. Ability to see things more clearly and recognize a variety of perspectives. When you are calm and when you are peaceful, when you are focused at the moment, you'll be able to understand and respect perspectives of other people. People do have different perspectives, and sometimes there's differences in opinion. But when you are in that state where you are calm and peaceful, and your brain is clear and not cluttered, then you'll be able to understand and accept opinions of others without any aggressions. Enhancing creativity to design solutions of complex problems. Mindfulness increases creativity because you'll be able to think properly, critically, and creatively. And you will be able to achieve balance and greater resilience. So you'll be able to tap your resiliency. You'll be able to achieve balance. Even if it's too stressful, you're able to complete your work because you know that at the moment, all you need to do is just to carry out a task which you can handle within the day. These are example of mindfulness exercise. They call it brain break. We have the body scan, kindness practice, self-compassion, focus on feel, focus on thought, benefactor practice. You can focus on different parts of the body so that you'll be able to feel the calmness and also, clear up everything inside you. One time when I attended this mindfulness training workshop in Malaysia, it was really refreshing and it's really renewing because you will feel different at the moment. When we did this racing exercise, the training workshop leader actually asked us to close our eyes and then taste the raisin that we put into our mouth and then slowly chew it. It's totally different when you are hurriedly chewing your raisin because when you chew the raisin slowly, you'll be able to get different tastes, you'll be able to get the texture, and you'll be able to connect yourself to the raisin. So it's really a very experience. So one of the example of brain breaks is body scan. So these are actually the steps on how to do it, and it would be good if it is associated with some background music. So you can try it out to yourself later on, maybe when you go back home. Get somebody to help you read the instructions, and then because you need to do this while closing your eyes and you are in a calm. All right. So aside from mindfulness, we need to also look at the social emotional skills of the students. What is this social emotional skills and what is social emotional learning? Social emotional skills is your ability to actually empathize and develop positive relationship, to make responsible decisions. It's actually a process. It is something that we can learn. We can learn the knowledge, we can actually form the attitudes, and we can develop the skills. So, empathizing with other people can help actually develop our. So, this compassion before curriculum team says, no idea what school will look like in the fall, but whether it's in person or online, it needs to include tons of self and healing informed work to deal with staff, student, and family trauma. You see, they've just started online learning as well. And they are also advocating the inclusion of social emotional learning, not only with the students, but also with their family and then staff. Because as I said, well-being is very important to every person. And also another studies and survey revealed that SEL is as important as the academic learning. 81% of the parents actually supported it, 93% of the teachers, and even 96% of the administrators say yes. Yes, SEL is very important as a learning. So in order to develop this social emotional learning skills, we need to look at the different competencies. First, the students need to have self-awareness. They need to learn self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, responsible decision making. So again, these are skills that can be learned. They can be practiced, they can be developed, and they can actually improve yourself. So, if we engage our student into some social emotional learning activities, these are the outcomes, or these are the possible things that then they can develop among themselves. They can develop well-being and resiliency, they develop their optimism, being positive, increasing feelings of optimism, and they'll be able to develop their self-management skills, which I do believe are very important, especially when you need to work on your own learning activities at home. Self-management skills actually help the students to become self-independent learner, developing their focus and also developing their empathy and so, what are the activities that we can use to improve our social emotional learning or social and emotional learning skills? So, we can have this what went well exercises where the students need to reflect after the session, things that went well today, becoming positive and then sharing it with others and then also contemplating on how to your learning experiences or things that you do every day. See, write down 3 things that went well today. Answer the following question: why did this happen? What does this mean to you? How can you have more of this good thing in the future? So when you know what is that positive thing that happened into your life every day, you keep on practicing and doing the same thing so that it keeps you optimistic, and you can also improve your positive emotions. You can also have this what do I do for self-care. You can provide this list to the students so that before they start their activity, they could have this list of things that they can do so that they will be ready for their lesson. First of all, you can advise them get plenty of sleep, enjoy the sunshine, go out for 1 or 2 minutes to see the sunshine, or maybe engage in some cooking for a few minutes, write or draw, talk to themselves, cuddle cats, get a hug from their parents, talk to some people who can inspire them, read, tidy up. So these are the things that actually can help them develop their self-management skills, self-care. Meaning, so as I said earlier, it is very important for the students' development of well-being to know their purpose. Why are they learning the lesson? What is their greater responsibility in the society? They need to understand explicitly that they need to learn the lesson not just because they need to get high grades, but rather they need to understand their higher purpose in the society. How can they make change? How can they make difference in the society, especially now that there's a lot of issues and conflicts happening in the world and even in our country. So like what Mahatma Gandhi says, that we must be the change we wish to see in the world. If we want to see it into our students, we need to also see it to ourselves. We need to be a person who set an example to be the change of the world. So we need to find out what is really our meaning or purpose as a teacher. And that will actually improve our sense of well-being because it will give us that sense of accomplishment. Okay. In order to build this accomplishment, you know that at currently at the moment we are experiencing a lot of issues, a lot of problems, but we don't look at it as challenges. We need to look at this as opportunity. So Carol Dweck, the growth mindset advocate, says that we can actually accomplish so many things if we have this growth mindset. So we need to again explicitly teach this to our students that growth mindset is very important, especially at this time of uncertainties, because we know what lies ahead of us. So we need to say that failure is not a limitation, but rather an opportunity to grow. Instead of saying, I'm either good at it or I'm not, you can always say, I can learn to do anything I want. Challenges are not hurdles, they are actually things that help me grow. So, those positivity, for example, when you are encouraging your students to develop their growth mindset, instead of if your student tells you, I'm not a math person or I'm not good at math, you can rephrase his or her words by saying, yes, you are not good at math yet, but sooner you will develop your math skills. When you learn how to do a new kind of problem, it grows your math brain. So that's all about how of the well-being, how to learning experiences that support well-being. Now, this task 5 is actually a trial on how brain gym can be done in the class. You can share a short video to your students so that they can follow the brain gym exercises. Have a look at it, the Brain Gym song by Tara Rose Productions. So you can watch this in Flipgrid. The video is attached into the page. What will be the outcome of integrating well-being in our online learning experiences? As I said, based on research and studies, when we incorporate well-being exercises or activities in the classroom, we help our students to improve their PERMA, positive emotions, to improve their engagement, their relationship to others, their meaning or purpose in life, and also improve their accomplishments. It actually results in less depression, less anxiety, better behavior conduct, higher grades, more success in life, and better physical health. Okay, finally, we've come to the conclusion of this session. So what you need to do for task 6 is to do your reflection. What you all need to do is to reflect on what you learned about well-being using PMI tool. So PMI means plus minus interesting. So for P, what are the positive effects or the advantage of incorporating well-being in your learning experiences? What do you think is the disadvantage or negative things? And what are the interesting things? Or what are your wonderings about well-being? Once you're done, you upload your PMI in the Flipgrid as your response. And that's the end of session 1. Thank you so much. I will see you in session 2.